Welcome to the Dream Huge podcast, where we'll talk with real estate investors, entrepreneurs, business leaders, athletes, and more to inspire you with their success stories so you can work hard, never give up, and dream huge. And now, let's start the show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Dream Huge podcast. Folks, we love to share success stories from huge dreamers, movers, shakers, influencers, people in the real estate business, people in all types of businesses, people that are just motivating and inspiring others to dream huge. And today we have our very special guest, Parker Pursell. So thank you for joining us, Parker.
Thank you guys for having me on. I love your guys' energy. I kind of caught it on at the beginning. You're like pointing at the camera.
Yes. Hey, man, we're ready to go. We're fired up. Don't let me forget my esteemed co-host, JP for 3, John Pavlansky.
I even got the jersey on today, Pete. I'm feeling the JP for 3 in me today, man.
Yes, we got the jerseys on. We're supporting Cleveland and their little playoff run they got going here. So JP for 3 is in the house. Oh, and I got to make sure you're doing okay from that motorcycle accident, JP.
I'm doing all good, man. I'm good. I successfully landed the accident. I didn't hit my head, didn't fall down or nothing. So we're good, man. Pete, how are you doing today, brother?
Excellent, outstanding as always. Never been any other way. So a little backstory on that, Parker. JP does a really great job of marketing himself and doing these Instagram reels. So the latest one he did, it shows this guy on a crotch rocket go flying off the track, and the guy like flies out of the frame, and then JP jumps into the frame. And he's like, hey, if you want to jump into real estate, give me a call. But it's great, and that's these videos, we can't be like selling and pushing ourselves all the time. We have to add value. We have to add humor and entertainment. So JP does an amazing job of that. And that's why he's the number one agent here at Dream Huge Realty. So shout out JP.
That's funny you say that. There's that guy that goes around, JP probably seen him, that basically negatively reviews like houses that he walks into, he's trying to sell.
Yes.
And it's hilarious. It's like such an inverse way of getting people to pay attention to the thing. He's like, yeah, I mean, if you want to take a shower, here it is. It's, not that good, but here you go. Like, and he just goes around every house that he does. And I'm like, you know what? I guarantee you his phone is blowing up off the hook just to get people to talk to him. So keep it up.
No doubt. Thanks.
What a great concept. When everybody else zigs, you zag, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I love it. All right. So Parker, let's get into our guest today, Parker Pursell. Parker does, he specializes in self-directed retirement accounts, which I'm guessing that folks will use that to maybe invest in real estate.
Absolutely.
So we're going to touch on that. We are also going to touch on, he's a fitness nut, just like ourselves here at Dream Huge Realty. He is an accomplished Ironman as well. So Parker, why don't you just start us with what you are currently doing with the self-directed retirements? Let's start with that.
Yeah. So, our company, truly like what we do is, ultimately serve people, right? Like, and if we take care of our people, profits will always take care of themselves. And so our mission is to empower families to invest in the assets that make the most sense to them, right? Regardless of the asset class. Traditional finance is broken because it limits your options to really truly invest in the thing that you want. And so what we've aimed to do is really blow that up, and we do it via the self-directed retirement route. Now, our platform is built on a 401. What we do is we give people access to their retirement money that's hanging out there. So let's just think if you're transitioning jobs, right? You've been bouncing around, you've got all these 401ks lying around or traditional IRAs. Well, you can basically house them up under one umbrella, take total control, and then go invest in whatever thing that you want to, as long as it's qualified, right? But your options are limitless inside a space like this versus traditional finance. And, as you're probably familiar with 1971, what happened there when we got off the gold standard. And then what's funny is you can go actually see like how the world has kind of blown up since 1971 occurred, and the prices of everything, debt, houses, you name it. Like, it's just this asymmetrical, graph going up to the right. when before everything was pretty steady because, well, there's accountability. So what we want to do is give people the tool, give them the ability to invest in things they want, and then also the option. So once they have that control, we have a platform on the back end that has a bunch of options for our people to be able to invest. So, they get the thing and now what, right? So we want to give them those options to be able to put that money to work as quick as possible because, as we know, the dollar is not thriving right now. So if you can put those dollars to work in other assets that will grow as the dollar continues to do what it does, well, then you can at least arbitrage the inflation and all that at a much quicker pace than you would just leaving it in the bank.
Where do you see folks direct their money to?
Real estate obviously is a really popular one, but as money's, I would say, stopped flowing near as much, at least towards real estate, deals are hard to find right now, but it's hard for everybody. Private lending is a really popular option because the return on your cash is much quicker and a lot's going towards special projects, right? Fix and flips, you name it. Businesses, right, that just need help funding. Maybe more debt fund style lendings. You've got a lot of things you can do, but that's like I said, the education is so important because when our members get in this space and they're able to mingle with each other and find out what others are doing, well, then it also gives them more ammo on how to go take their money and grow it in ways they may not have known how.
Absolutely.
Here's what I love about this. Take your money off of Wall Street and invest it on Main Street.
Yep.
Right? Put it where you can actually see it working. You can actually give back to your own community, and you still get all those same tax benefits. You get the same tax benefits as whatever retirement account that you're currently set up in, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you just get more options, right? Like, and some people still like to diversify into Wall Street, but the thing is the traditional system keeps you locked up. So if you can still put it in a vehicle, and let's just say you still want to go buy, Tesla stocks or Nvidia, whatever your favorite stock is, but you could reallocate your portfolio towards real estate, towards, private lending, crypto, you name whatever you want, as long as it's qualified. And that's what people are most attracted to our community for, is because you get all those options other than the one that your company currently offers you. You just, put your money in and hope it works out.
Awesome. Well, and Parker, where do you come in that equation for them? So they say, hey, I want to invest in real estate. Do you have like a set number of real estate agents? Okay, I'm going to get them in touch with these guys. They're going to rock and roll from there. They're going to find a property. Like, how does that process look in terms of you connecting them with the different avenues?
So the community is really built on just building those core relationships, right? Like I wouldn't say there's agents. We work with syndicators, so people who are raising capital for deals, whether it be multifamily or build to rent, or there's commercial opportunities, oil and gas, you name it. There's a lot of different funds out there that people can invest in. So, on the back end, they first off need to know what they can do, right? Well, then they're like, okay, well, I know I can do this now. Now, where do I go find these opportunities? Well, that's what we do with our platform is we bring in these syndicators and give them a space to be able to build those relationships and do their due diligence. So we're not vetting, we're not financial advisors. Like, we don't hold any licenses. So I'm gonna be very clear that we don't recommend, like, we just provide the education and the support. So think of it like, I speak in analogies. It helps me really kind of describe what we do, but traditional finance systems give you fish, right? So if you're hungry, they go give you a fish, and then what do you do the next day? Well, you go back and get the fish from them. What we do is we like to teach people how to fish. So if we can teach you, well, then you're coming to us less because you're gaining more knowledge on how to do the thing. And as they do it more and more, then they have that confidence and that education on how to go. Let's just say they've been dabbling in multifamily for a while, and they're like, I kind of want to go touch this asset class. So I'm going to take everything I've learned here, maybe how to vet deals, sponsors, you name it, and then go out and then apply that same knowledge. But we're always here to help coach them on the how. But, if you're like, hey, Parker, I got these 2 deals, which one should I do? I'd be like, well, which one looks better to you, right? And then you got to make that decision. But that's the empowerment. And that's the thing that's been cut out. Truthfully, I feel like in our society is, the current system says you're stupid, you can't do it on your own, which that's just a lie. Everybody out there figured it out. You can too. You just need someone to come alongside you and help you do it. And that's where we position ourselves, is to help empower the individuals, investors, the families out there that see a brighter day and want to pass that legacy wealth down to the next generation, but also help them preserve it. but you got to put them in assets that are going to grow. Other than, like I said, don't leave it in the bank account because, inflation is going to leave you behind.
Right. Parker, let's say I got and I bring it to you. Let's talk dollars and cents here. What do you charge me to convert that over into a self-directed?
Yeah. So, our fees are very simple in the way they work. We have an upfront when you come in, and then there's just an annual subscription model on the back end. So, up front, it's a few $1,000s to get it all set up, but you're getting our team. We take all the brain damage away from you. So a lot of times, like when you're dealing with custodians and you're asking all the how questions, it's just very difficult because most people only do this once in their life, right? And there's a lot of moving parts and pieces. So once that's established and taken care of, well, then on the back end, it's just a fixed rate of $895. And the way I look at it is you can't look at your hopes and dreams and really assign a dollar value to it. Like on the upfront, you got to ask yourself what's at stake, right? So for me, when I'm looking at what I have, well, what's at stake? Well, first off, I have a lack of education and knowledge and understanding of how to do this in the first place. So, if I screw it up, what's at stake and what's that's going to cost? Well, then on the next level is like, man, well, I want access to all these deals. Well, what's that going to cost, right? So for us, really, we've designed it in a way that as you grow, so on the back end, the fees, the way they work is actually you pay less to your current asset value over time, because most financial advisors and current 401k products, they bake all that stuff in there, and I guarantee you most people do not know what they pay. And over the course of time, I saw Tony Robbins do this whole rundown of where as the fees grow to 3% over the course of your life, the system will steal essentially 15 to 20 years off of your life in terms of earning power. Like that money's just gone because you just let it sit with them and they didn't do anything with it. So, like I said, we're trying to position you to win at every step of the way. And look, we're investors too. We understand, we see a brighter day for ourselves, which is why we started this company.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, I love it. And it seems like this seems to be the logical route on this. I wouldn't see why someday that they should all start off as self-directed. Why are we all starting them off as non-self-directed? Oh, and then when we figure it out, let's move this over so I can actually control my own money. Oh, that's a great idea. That's how it should be from the beginning.
Well, I mean, the questions are really just too simple, right? When you say that, well, why? Well, we know why. We could just list all the things why they position it that way. Why is finance not taught in our schools? Why is money management not taught? Why is entrepreneurship not taught in schools? Because the more you empower the people, right, then the more knowledgeable they're going to be, and the more questions that you ask. Nobody just likes to be questioned. As I heard, I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named John Acuff. I had lunch with a friend the other day, and he said, people who can't be questioned do questionable things. And I was like, wow, that's very astute, and it's true. So the government, it's just facts. I'm not trying to be political here, but it's when the government says, oh, we've lost track of $2 trillion, right, in the Pentagon, and then nobody goes to jail for it. They're just, oh, we lost it. Sorry. But when you're, shooting Venmo transactions, they're you better tell us what you're doing with that couple $100. What are we doing here? It's like clown world out there. So, people who can't be questioned do questionable things. And a lot of our, systems just aren't questionable. They're not designed to have accountability, because what do? We just print more money. Okay, well, we're just going to get where we're going to go. So take control while you can and get out of that, and at least put your money and preserve your wealth in different things that can outpace the questionability that's happening around you.
You guys can question me anytime you want.
That's a good thing. Yeah, I mean,
yes,
accountability,
that's right.
man, you got to have
Nothing
it in your
to
life.
hide over here.
Businesses, individuals, man, you got to be accountable.
When something that I've heard just in you talking this far, Parker, is that I've heard the word serve people, empower people. You're not doing it just for you guys. You know what I mean? You're doing it because exactly like you said, we're investors as well. Well, you know that it works. You know that it's a benefit to people, so you're pushing it towards them. Same thing we do with the real estate investing. We both invest in real estate, but we're pushing it to our clients as well, because we want everybody to achieve the same things, especially if we know they work. So that's the one thing that I've just noticed as you've talked thus far, is that It's not just for you. It's not for you guys to make more money. It's because, hey, guys, look over here. This works. Let me show you how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I got a 17-month-old, I got family, I got mouths to feed, just like everybody else in our company does, right? We're all on the same journey. Like, we all have a desired destination to let money free up our time to do the things we love most and spend it with who we want, right? So, I truly believe that, if we looked at money as a way to free us up to really be the people God intended us to be, like, what would life look like, right? And so, everybody, I think there's a learning journey. Some people decide to take that leap of entrepreneurship, or whatever you call it, early on. Some people kind of, their path goes from entrepreneur to entrepreneur. And so when you look at W-2s, it's just, it can be looked at as a form of modern day slavery on some level, because they just wake up, they do the same thing every day, but yet they're looking out their window just wishing that, that they had enough time, money, and resources to really do the things that they were put on this earth to do. And so we should all be striving to do that, because, people need us. Like, why do I work so hard? Why do you guys work so hard? Well, I work hard and I want to be excellent, skillful with my hands, because other people out there need me, right? If I'm skillful with my hands and I can make a lot of money in business, well, then guess what I can go do? I can go bless a lot of people. I can go solve a lot of problems. And then not only as we're building our mechanism here, serving people, like, we get to then go, it's just an outpouring of our heart. So that's what gets me excited is, a lot of people may hate on those that make a lot of money, but like, we need people and friggin' strong business leaders to go out there and crush it so we can go make a big impact in the world. So, that's what we're doing.
I love it, man.
Yeah, there's no such thing as too much. Like you said, the more you have, the more you can bless people with. It's as simple as that. And it really is that abundance mindset. And we are all, it's not just the W-2s who are enslaved. We are all enslaved. We are all enslaved until we are financially free. And that's what we are striving towards, is that financial freedom, so we can do those things and make those choices to serve our community and our charities and our faith and whatever that entails. Man, we preach that. And that's why we're real estate investors first here at Dream Huge. And I preach that. So that's great stuff. We're definitely lined up on that, Parker. Okay, so, hey, man, tell us a little bit about your journey into the Ironman.
Yeah, so when I was down, I used to work for Chick-fil-A for a few years. When I was down in Pensacola, the store I was working at down there, there's a CrossFit gym, and I kind of started getting into that first. So, about 6-7 years, I did CrossFit pretty hard, loved it. It was tons of fun, gave me that competitive edge, and got to test my body and do things that I never thought I'd be able to do. But I kind of hit a point where I lost my purpose going in there. It was weird. One day I had this competition, and then I swear 2 days later I get back in the gym and I could not pick up like a quarter of the weight that I was doing. Like, it was hard. Everything just felt like it was heavy. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I went to the doctor and got blood tests because I thought something was wrong with me. And what it came to is I just lost purpose. Like, I lost purpose in what I was doing, really, and why I was doing it. So I'm super competitive, but I just was like, well, what am I doing this for? Like, I'm not making money. It's just ego driving me, right? And, you could beat people, whatever. So I was like, I just need something else that's hard. And I'd done a bike ride before out in California over a couple of days. It was like 100 miles, I think. And I did that. I was like, okay, well, I've done that. Well, I've ran a half marathon. Okay, like, I've done those separately. I was like, well, why don't I just start trying the Ironman route? And it's something that felt impossible, truthfully, because I can swim, but I've never swam like that in my life. And so it just started in end of 2019 into 2020, when obviously COVID happened, and I had a race that I was supposed to do then. I did a half first, but the race got canceled. And then I was like, well, I went and mapped my own course out here to State Park. I was like, I'm still going to do it. And so I went and did it in a state park. And after I got done, I was like, I kind of want to keep doing this. I want to do the full. So the next year I went and did another half up in New York, and then did the full in Chattanooga. And it was awesome. The training is where all the fun happens. Like, the race day is great. It's awesome. But the training is where it's at, man. You learn a lot about yourself. You push yourself through really difficult situations. And, if you're out there like trying to do something hard, just remember, like, if you say yes more than you say no, meaning like when that 4 a.m. clock rings and you get up and you just put your shoes on and say yes, like you don't even have to run your full distance or whatever you got going on, but like get out there and do it. So at least you said yes and did the hard thing. Cause sometimes your body's just tired. Like, so for me in my training, that's all I did. I said, Parker, just say yes more times you say no and you'll finish. And that's kind of how I got to the finish line. And I'll tell you this last thing. At mile 8 of the run, I'm also type 1 diabetic, so that was like something that I had to kind of navigate through my race. But hopefully it's not TMI. Like I got sick. I'll just leave it at that, and ran into the bathroom, and every which way on my body, I was like had this moment at mile 8 where I was like sitting there. I was truly in the back. I was like, okay, I've got 18 more miles to go. I said yes more times than I said no. I felt awful. I was like, they're going to drag my body off this course before I stop. Like, so I just got out and I just kept going, one foot in front of the other. And I had a great team of people around me to like support me during it. But, it was just that's the thing that got me going. I was like, man, I did something really hard. And, nobody ever asks you like your time in the Ironman. They don't care. It's like, the airplane theory. If you own an airplane, nobody's like, well, how big is it? How big is the engine? It's like, you own an airplane? Like, you're like, you finished an Ironman? I'm like, yeah. Nobody cares. So I just finish it and, leave it at that.
Parker, what is the Ironman breakdown?
Yeah. So it is a 2.5 mile swim. And then it was 116 miles on the bike and then a full marathon at the end. So 26.2 miles. All in one day.
Yeah, and I have no idea what's a good time or not a good time, but what was your time?
Oh, mine was like 15 hours. 15:55, I think, something like that.
Insane.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the guys that compete in the world championships are finishing it in like 8 hours. So that gives you kind of a component of, how good they are. And I would say it's one of the only places that you'll find in sports where you have professionals and like amateurs / rookies, people who you're sharing the same playing field. Like you don't see professional basketball players playing with people, in street pickup basketball, like on the same court competing. But here you've got people who are paid to do the races out there riding with me, who's like dying, throwing up and all that stuff out there. And they're finishing in half the time. So,
Now, which order do the events go in again?
Swim, bike, run.
So you get to run
the swim. Just think of that as the buy-in. Like, just all you gotta do is finish the swim. You don't really need to put too much pressure on that because the time in the water, in terms of trying to make up time, is not that much. So just use that to like warm up and get into the day. But the race starts on the bike, and if you can make it through the bike and get off with enough time, like, because you just don't know what could happen while you're out there. You're really kind of trying to navigate the uncontrollables, whether it be a flat or start cramping up. So, that's how I approached it, was give myself enough time for the uncontrollables. And I did, given that, what happened on the run happened, but I still finished. So I was happy with how I navigated all that.
I mean, like, holy sheep shit. That is
JP, are you there?
Can you not hear me?
He's there. He's smiling.
We got you. JP, order the bikes. I got a Speedo. I can run. Order the bikes. We're gonna do it.
Do a half first. I'm telling you, once you get done with a half, like you'll then look and be like, I can do it. Like, but you got to keep the training going. Like if you just quit at the half, you got to look at the half as like the prerequisite to doing the full. But that's how I did it. You don't have to do it that way, but a lot of people do.
So I've heard of the Ironman. You can hear me? You guys can hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard of the Ironman before, okay? And I've never realized how much it was. I'm thinking like, 2 miles in the water, that's cool. Maybe 15 miles on the bike, maybe a double, one marathon, 36 miles. Holy shit. I mean, that is insane. That is mind-boggling. That's absolutely mind-boggling. I'm in shock right now. That's crazy. So yeah.
There's actually a race that I was entertaining and dabbling after that. It's called the Ultraman, and it's a double Ironman. So it's 6 mile swim. And then and so it's a 3-day race. So the first day is a 6 mile swim. Then it's 70, or I think it may be 90 something miles on the bike. Yeah, like 92 miles. And then the next day it's a 173-mile bike ride. And then the last day is a 52.4-mile run. Yeah.
So I'm showing up with flippers, motorcycle,
You got to have a team to do that, bro. Like,
skateboard.
that's a whole nother like level. So I'd have to work my way back there if I even wanted to entertain that, because I had a kid and life kind of gets a hold of you, and so I'm just trying to get consistent again. So it is what it is.
It's amazing, but it's the law of attraction. We were attracted to each other not by accident. I believe that we emit what you emit, you will receive. We're fitness nuts. We are investment nuts. We are nuts about helping others succeed as well, and building up something that can leave a lasting legacy for our families, our friends, and our teammates. And I see that common thread right here, man. Right here through the three of us. So Parker, I don't want to keep you all day. I know you're busy. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I think ultimately if you're kind of at the point where you're just really frustrated with the direction that you're headed financially, well, you first off got to make a decision. Are you going to keep doing things the same way you're doing them, or are you going to make a change and a shift? And so we got to deal with the facts. You got to get a clear reality of where you are. And where we're at is that the dollar's dead. I mean, it is what it is. And so you got to do something better. There is better, right? So for us, where we get to answer that specifically is in the retirement industry. So if you have been job hopping, you've got traditional IRAs, you've got 401ks that you're just like, I don't even know what they're doing, what's happening. I would love to invest in real estate. I'd love to, go do these single family things or go put it in gold and silver. Like, give us a call, go to eqrp.com. We have a great professional team that will talk through your specific situation, not like read off a call script, but we're like, hey, give us a clear reality of where you are, what you're trying to do, and then we'll get you set up and put you on a path of where you need to go. So, for any of you that are just frustrated, like, make that change, make that shift, reach out to us. We'll take all the brain damage away, so you don't have to worry about how it works. We got you taken care of there.
Love it, Parker. JP, final thoughts, final questions.
What's next for you, Parker, in the world of investing and also in the world of fitness as well? What's the next step? I always ask people this because I like to know. You are where you are now, but what's next?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, right? Like, for me, I'm someone that doesn't really put too much focus on like 10-year, 3-year plans, because my plans over the course of my life, anytime you've planned that, it's just always been derailed in a number of different ways. Thought I was going to go be a Chick-fil-A operator, didn't happen. Thought I was going to run the family business when I went back there, didn't happen. I was unemployed. I went and was pressure washing for a year. And then, from that, now I ended up in finance, and now I'm running the company. So like, I couldn't have scripted any of this in any sort of way. So for me, I always want to be where I'm most passionate about, where I feel like I have a place to, use my gifts and skill sets and help people. But then, from the business standpoint, I think we're just, like a lot of us are, we're just paying attention to what's happening and how can we serve the person in front of us and help them with their problem. There's always problems to solve. So if we can continually keep that focus on the person's problem, well, then everything else will take care of itself, right? And then for fitness, for me, I think it's just getting consistent. Like, I've gotten off the rails a little bit, but I never thought that I would be there. Like, I was, 6 days a week, like it was nothing, wanting to go do 2-a-days at times. And now it's, sometimes you just kind of get run into the ground. And I love being a dad. It's the best title I'll ever hold. But Parker's got to start taking care of himself again. So my wife's a trainer, so she's getting me back on track, and she's doing some programming for me. So, I'm getting back on that bike. All right. Who's going to carry the boats? It's going to be me. I'm the only person that's going to carry the boats.
That's right, baby. Love it. Parker Pursell, man. Thank you so much for taking time with us today. Hey, give us that website one more time.
Yeah. So it's EQRP. Go there, and schedule some time to talk with our team. And, if you're out there also listening to this show, if you're raising money for deals or you're a capital raiser, you're looking to put some unique offerings for your community together, we work with all sorts of people out there to come alongside and help you in your capital raising journey too. So reach out to us and we'd love to help you in that.
What does that stand for?
Stands for Enhanced Qualified Retirement Plan.
Go. And what about where can people follow you online?
Yeah, I'm big on LinkedIn. That's kind of like my sole focus right now. So if you want to go on LinkedIn, follow my journey there, you can do that. And also have a newsletter as well. It's on my LinkedIn page, so you can go sign up for it there too, but it's turnkeyretirement.com. I post a weekly newsletter. It's just really fun talking about what's happening in the world of finance and for people out there self-directing their retirement, just giving them little nuggets to pay attention to along their investing journey.
Awesome. Parker Pursell, thank you so much. JP, John Pavlansky for 3.
Thank you so much.
For 3. And EQRP.com to get those self-directed retirement accounts set up with my man Parker Pursell. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching the Dream Huge podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, remember the rules. Work hard, never give up, and dream huge, baby. Let's see the guns, Parker. Dream huge. Yes. Oh, yeah, with the kiss even. Love it. Thank you, Parker. Appreciate you, man. We'll be in touch.
Sounds good.
Parker.
Thank you for listening to the Dream Huge podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. For more inspiring content, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Dream Huge Realty and on TikTok at Dream Huge Inc. Until next time.